Okay, so we beat up an evil Chaos Space Marine. That's what's left of him. Aurora. That was the main bad guy. Let's go loot his stuff. So, Heretical Follower. Gem of Dark Vitality. Requires Conviction Heretical. +4 to maximum wounds with his health. When Veiled Degradation is below 15, +10 to toughness. Each round the wearers regenerates wounds equal to wearer's heretical rank. We don't have any real heretics in our group, so that's kind of Oh, the heavy bolter. That'd be nice. Lasgun and a life-draining sword. An successful hit with the sword. The target must pass a toughness resistance test with -5 penalty. On failure, the target suffers the bleeding effect and veiled degradation is increased by 1. Oops. You have to be a heretic in order to use this. Right? Restore 1. Oh, maybe that's what extra stuff is. Let's collect it all and see what goes.
Powers unseen uncover my hearth.
You still have to level up, too. Sergeant Malgar didn't make it. We didn't kill him, did we? I don't think we killed him. He died of his own mistakes, right?
The world will bow.
He's going to have a sniper rifle. A rebel sniper rifle. It might be better than what we have. So you have a sniper rifle. Yeah, it's a little bit better. 18 to 25. Gippy's doing lasers, right? Oh, that one's better range, but we'll give it to Abelard. Play with that. So again, nobody can use that. So he can't use the sword because he's not a heretic. Oops.
Please stop saying oops. You are making me look bad.
I know. It's okay. So, nice stuff that we can't use. That's basically what that is. Oh, and you... So if you're not a heretic, you can't use any of this stuff. That's so nice. The heavy bolter would have been... Oh, strength 60. Everybody knows the truth, for sure. You don't need to say it. When do we get a heavy bolter? Need to find one. Anyway. Level up time. So level 15. Oh, finest hour and stuff. I thought we already picked this stuff. Okay, the target of the finest hour gains more bonuses. During their extra turn, the target deals +2 to damage. Until the end of combat, the target gains the effect Voice of Command. Happy New Year. Yes, Happy New Year's. All negative effects are immediately removed from the target till the end of the officer's next turn. The target cannot die. Its friends cannot, or its wounds cannot be reduced below 1. Yes, Ada Spirit, welcome back. The warm up. Yeah, we still have about 7.5 hours here before we hit midnight. Gains 3 times officer's fellowship bonus, which is 5, so 15. Oh, temporary health until the end of combat. More bonuses. During their extra turn, any kill made by the target restores AP and movement points. Target can redirect the ability with the remaining AP. Sure, let's do that. Abelard. Daring Breach also grants +10 movement points until the end of the turn, where it does not provoke attacks of opportunity this turn. Till the end of the combat, the warrior gains +4 movement points for each kill, and may use their movement points after attacking or using abilities. For 1 round, the warrior becomes the priority target for every enemy. This turn, melee attacks deal an additional warrior strength bonus divided by 2 damage. So strength bonus is currently 5, so 2. That's not very impressive. But more movement for each kill. Already have this feature. Oh, it's an upgrade. Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay, Argenta. Shoot stuff. Until the end of the soldier's turn, they gain +4 movement points, and area attacks do not spend movement points. Okay. Soldier's rate of fire is increased by 30%. Oh, that's right. To the end of combat, all the soldiers' attacks are 20% harder to dodge. Until the end of combat, the soldiers' range attacks gain +10% armor penetration. End of combat, let's do that one. So he's not feeling well. That crippled leg. He got the shit kicked out of him by the Chaos Marine. Until the Operator's next turn, the target cannot move. Till the end of the combat, the target's MP are reduced by -3. Dismantling attack also cripples the enemy, reducing their weapon skill and ballistic skill by 30 until the end of combat. Dismantling attack also intimidates all enemies in 5-cell radius around the target, reducing their dodge, and that's a good one. The target also provokes attacks of opportunity whenever it attacks. This one. Oh, this is an upgrade. No? That was odd. Okay, warrior. So it's the same thing that Abelard had. This turn, melee attacks deal an additional +2 damage. How about that one? Kill stuff, move faster. And Cassia. What kind of ridiculous stuff do you... Oh, you're an officer. So, same things that Gimpy was getting. More bonuses turns and deals plus damage. Until the end of combat, the target gains the effective voice of command. Gains bonuses during their next turn. Any kill they make made by the target restores AP. Yeah, that's a good one. Although, oh, fellowship stuff. Fellowship could be improved. That's okay. This is upgrade number 4. Okay then. Void ship bridge. Void ship bridge. Did I miss anything? Collected everything, it looks like. So, get choices. Which shuttle are we going to take up? Which shuttle's going to get shot down? Anyway. Movie time. Sort of. Thanks be to the Emperor, you are alive, your lordship. We are most gratified by your return, and the crew is full of zeal to carry out any orders you may have. Before anything else, I will hear an account of what happened to the system's sun. He falters. Lord Captain, we saw a number of ships approach the sun, black creations of inhuman make, amalgams of sharp angles and edges. They surrounded the star, and then, my apologies, but I struggle to find words that could describe that terrible sight. The Xenos made the sun vanish into the void. The interrogator closes his eyes and grimaces. Drukhari. You see Abelard's expression change as if a shadow has suddenly fallen over him. He rubs his temple warily, as if we did not have enough troubles on our hands already. The Xenos, the enemies of humanity. Hey, look, it succeeded. Hendricks nods. A breed of the Eldari, the most cruel and devious of their kind. The design of their ships matches the description provided by the Vox Master. Like all Xenos, the Drukhari are a blight on the face of the galaxy, but their technological superiority is indisputable. They abhor and fear warp sorcery, which is why they rely on creations of their twisted intellect, and many of those creations are capable of things that may seem akin to sorcery to the unenlightened eye. The theft of a sun is one example of what they're capable of. Xenos in league with the Aurora's cultists. We can rule out that possibility. The Drukhari would never ally themselves with the archenemy's worshippers. If I had to name one thing that humanity and the Xenos have in common, it would be a shared loathing of warp corruption. Hendricks glances around. The situation calls for immediate action, Gimpy. We can continue this conversation later if you so wish, but right now, he gestures at the deck teeming with tumultuous activity. I believe you should assume command. Hey, Zombie, welcome back. Happy Wednesday, and happy New Year's Eve. What's the current situation on board? Navigator Sanctum is no longer empty, but the warp engine is still refusing to obey the Ingeseers. Without it, we cannot perform a warp jump. Pascal's voice buzzes anxiously from his Vox. It may be angry, or perhaps it is lamenting the injuries it has suffered. I will immediately initiate preparations for a prayer service. If the Messiah grants me comprehension, I will appease the machine spirit of this vessel. Why did you not send a shuttle into the planet for me? I do apologize, your lordship, but we were unable to receive your request for evacuation. The voice link was overrun with vile interference, screams, blasphemous hymns, and others equally sinister noises. Any who listened to the interference for a protracted period lost their sanity. Several dozen operators went mad monitoring the Voxcaster in the hopes of hearing your voice. Each one of them waited in vain. What's happening on the planet now? Our auger operators are reporting numerous uprisings and other manifestations of the archenemy's powers at various locations on the planet. Based on the fragments of communications picked up by our Vox operators, there is practically no resistance being offered by the governor's forces. Millions of people are converting to the blasphemous Final Dawn cult en masse and assembling in prayer circles. Do we have any hope of retaking the planet? I fear that Rykad Minoris is lost. The situation is deteriorating by the minute. We must leave the system as soon as possible. However, there are still people on the planet who have not succumbed to heresy and are worthy of rescue. Besides a small number of our own shuttles, we also have the shuttle salvaged from the starport. Argenta, the dark eyes of the sister of Battle Flash. We must save as many as we can. This has all happened for a reason. Saint Argenta, whose name I carry with reverence and trepidation, is famed for saving the people of a dying world through the power of prayer. God Emperor himself sent a star from the heavens that lifted the saint and her followers up to the sky, away from corruption and death. We must do as she did, direct all our efforts to saving those who are at the moment, save those people at this moment. All our efforts to saving those people who at this moment look up to the heavens in hope of salvation. Oof, that was a rough one for me. The lives of peasants are of little value, says Pascal. Our prime objective is to save the holy relic, the miraculous fusion reactor, and the electro priests who guard and tend to it. Avalok furrows her brows. Every moment we spend in proximity to a dying world, we are putting ourselves at risk. Your life, Lord Captain, is far more valuable than all of Rycord Minoris. The Von V dynasty cannot be allowed to perish, and so, lamentable though it is, we must rule out the idea of any evacuation. Henrik's eyes, like two deep, dark pools, are resolutely fixed on you. The world is doomed, and its inhabitants along with it. The disappearance of the star was a final nudge towards death. The finale of the cult of the Final Dawn's plans. I once witnessed a similar event. A world that had surrendered to the servants of the archenemy and permitted corruption to enter too deep. At this moment, millions of people are bowing down before those who promised them salvation, and they are willingly giving over their souls to chaos, a sacrifice great enough to bring forth a demon world. Our only hope of stopping this process is to retreat to a safe distance from the planet and conduct targeted bombing of the Electro-Priest Monastery. If we blow up the reactor, a thermonuclear reaction will follow. The world's oxygen will evaporate, killing off the entire biosphere. In doing this, we will save millions of souls from a fate far worse than death, and we will save Rykad Minoris from becoming an outpost of the archenemy. Cassia, whatever fate you choose for this world, I urge you to make haste, Lord Captain. The planet is burning in raging flashes of crimson and purple. I can see it even from orbit. As do I see that the storm is already upon us. With every moment that we waste, it grows even more difficult and perilous to steer the ship through the warp's turbulent currents. Dear, I'm with the lady on this. Enough talking. We need to get out of here while we still can. Why can we not try to evacuate at least some of the people? For the simple reason that the transformation process will soon become irreversible and our sole weapon against it useless. The energy released by the bombardment could stoke the warp engines. I have never witnessed the aftermath of bombing a demon world before, but there's enough evidence of such attempts for me to say with confidence that you do not want to see it. Which of the planet's inhabitants can we evacuate? The nobles you rescued at the starport have given the coordinates of shelters where we can find surviving aristocrats and their families. As for Sergeant Malgar's troops, they will help to control the crowds of frightened commoners and prevent the shuttles from being overloaded. Thanks to you, we have salvaged many shuttles from the starport that we can now use. Nobles deserve to be blah, blah, blah. Have the pilots extract all the commoners who have not yet converted to the cult of the Final Dawn. It must be saved. Set an optimal course and carry out an orbital strike on the Electro-Priest Monastery. Rykad Minoris must fall. Do I get to choose more than one? Shit. Nobles? Any delay caused by loading and transporting to the ship will cost us precious time. Do not deceive yourself, Gimpy. If you indulge your vanity, you will doom billions to eternal torment at the hands of the archenemy. Very well, Hendrix. Let's do it your way. Set an optimal course and, yeah, we'll go dogmatic. Bomb it. Yes, Lord Captain. I will immediately inform the navigation and artillery decks of the impending maneuver. Dogmatic plus 15. Go us. Heinrichs inclines his head. The right choice, Lord Captain. May the sacred exterminatus cleanse this veil of corruption. Bridge is an upheaval. The technomat's prayers mixed together in a senseless cacophony, while servitors work hastily to remove a hardened crust of sacred augments unguents from the warp engine's components. In the middle of all this tumult stands Pascal with a data slate clutched in its hands, seemingly disconnected from the flurry of activity around him. What's going on? The warp sextant is not responding to commands, says Pascal. The ship's spirit is rejecting our prayers in anger. I am currently calculating a plea that might appease the noble spirit. Why didn't you assume control of the technomats? Surely their contribution will speed things up. Magos. They would only be a hindrance. I am searching for a way to rectify the error. He is muttering without taking his eyes off the data slate. There is a certain anxiousness to the way he moves his mechadendrites. This is now your ship and your temple. Start acting like it, you blasted cog. Magos, if you do not bring this situation under control, we will all perish. Act swiftly. Crew, heed the word of the Magos. Blah, 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 Pascal. I kindly request that you take charge of this mess. We all perish. Act swiftly. Pascal shoots a look of fierce pride and says with gravity, "You are right. This is my temple." His vox booms with power. Tech comrades, heed my instruction. The mayhem immediately subsides and the crew's actions fall into some indiscernible logic. The Omnissiah servants start working in sync and the binaric clamor becomes a symphony of reports which the Magos coordinates like a skillful conductor. Admirably done. Do never act like a spineless cretin in front of me ever again. No, now make this rebellious lump of metal take us out of here. Admirably done. Admirably done. Omnissiah guides me, says Pascal. Prayers of the tech priest surrounding the cogitator almost drown out the sounds of the bustling bridge behind you. Pascal, poring intently over the data slate in his hands, extends a mechadendrite towards you. Please take your place at the cogitator, Lord Captain. What are we doing? I studied the data and discovered a machine node that was damaged as a result of the heretic sabotage. The functioning of the warp sextant was tampered with, and the ship's spirit, aggrieved by this violation of the right of operation, is now rejecting its calculations. I sought a way to rectify this error, and have concluded that your participation is necessary to do so. Great. The cogitator systems of this temple of the Omnissiah are subordinate to the shell whose repository serves the machine we see before us. A machine created for your predecessor, and one that uses the biological signatures of dynastic blood in its computations. The spirit should recognize the ship's master and submit to his will. Should. He spoke the final word with a slight tremor in his synthesized voice. That should sound less than reassuring. Sounded less. Step up. Quit talking. Stick your hand on the machine. The huge machine in front of you is lit with dozens of vid screens and hundreds of lumens. The blinking lights and endless rush of symbols and digits on the green background make your eyes water, and a vague sense of alarm simmers in the depths of your mind. Typical reaction of a layperson when confronted with the magnitude of the Omnissiah's creation. Among the numerous controls you see the mouth of a cyber gargoyle, the same as the gate of the warden's chamber. Gate to the warden's chamber. Pascal's voice becomes imbued with imperious force. Servants of the machine god, heed my command. Acolytes, prepare the incense instrumentation for the liturgy of machine spirit propitiation. Senior technomats recite the prayer to generate a current data report. Operations marked with the campanological protocol. Omnissiah rejoice. So much talking. Must inform you that for the purpose of safety, complete reassembly of this warp sextant and updating it of its data smith blessings are required. If this is not done, then at launch this volume of aggregate calculation errors could result in the destruction of the data crypts. But as we do not have 100 hours at our disposal, we must omit this procedure. He looks down at the data slate in his hands. A minor deviation from the right of operation for the sake of appeasing the spirit. Deviating from this right of operation, that sounds dubious, especially coming from you. Listen, can't you do all this without me? I am no servant of the Omnissiah after all. What must I do? Place your hand inside the throat of the cogitator guardian. Cyber Gargoyle, which has been assigned to guard the forbidden data crypts. The dynastic blood extracted from your veins will serve as a key to the data core where the machine spirit dwells. To it, we will offer our prayers so that we may bypass the protective protocol for defective connections and launch the warp sextant. His voice grows quieter. The laws of the Omnissiah know no exceptions, and so in this ritual I will remain at your side to placate the wrathful machine spirit, in whose abode you will be intruding. Follow my liturgies, Lord Captain, and may we receive his blessing. So much reading. Deviating from the rite of operation that sounds dubious. Listen, now. Place your hand on the mouth. The metal jaws clamp down on your hand, breaking your delicate corporeal sheath and releasing warm red fluid into its gullet. At the same moment, the image of the vid screen before you changes. Connecting. 1, 2, 3, success, blah, blah, blah. What does it all mean? Reach out and touch the keys on the instrument. No, don't do that. By my authority, I've revoked the inviolability protocol of the warp engine. One of the cogitators' vid screens turns red. Pascal sees this and raises his hand, signaling to the rest of the tech priest, then withdraws a connector from his sleeve and connects it to the machine. Servants of the Omnissiah, make now the offering of cleansed data crypts to the machine spirit so that it may be filled with their true and calibrated data. May the Omnissiah have mercy on our souls. In meek solemnity, the acolytes offer up their cleansed data crypts to the warp engine, one after another, repeating prayers of exaltation. After anointing the contacts with sacred unguents, Pascal inserts them in the cogitator slots. Your head begins to spin from the holy sensor's foul-smelling clouds of smoke and the blood loss, and from loss of blood that the cyber gargoyle continues to drink from you, and the world swims before your eyes. Let the mechanism awaken in renewed purity. Pascal enters a sequence of commands and raises his head, watching the vid screens. Suddenly he stops dead. No, his fingers fly over the command runes, entering command after command. His mechadendrites, clicking their pinches, pull at one lever after another. The vid screens fill with strings of symbols, completely incomprehensible to you, but clearly conveying something to the Magos. What's happening? After a few seconds, one of the data crypts mounted on the cogitator begins to emit sparks. A moment later, another data crypt does the same. The next bursts into flame and gives off foul-smelling smoke. Around you, the Omnissiah servants break off from their prayers, and someone bursts into frantic bleeding. Pascal mournfully grates out. The massive errors in the warp sextant's calculations are destroying the data repositories. Your offering did not appease the ship's spirit. The warp engine cannot be filled with the motive force. We are trapped. A moment later, the Magos continues uncertainly. Perhaps an alternative Ryzen protocol, or an emergency launch of the auxiliary coils. The tech priest bends over the cogitator, but something in his pose and movements reveals his desperation. While the other vid screens are filled with more and more strings of symbols, the monitor in front of you blinks and its static image changes. Pascal is too engrossed in his ritual to notice. Read the information. True, false, stack, whatever. Moment, if you will. Pascal turns toward you, his flickering visor betraying his anxious state. Lord Captain, he stops short when he sees the vid screen. Distorted transmissions from the data core, most likely the residual cognitive functions of the built-in servitors. Omnissiah, shield us from machine ghosts. He returns to manipulating the cogitator's command runes. Machine spirit, can you hear me? Cogitator's servant creaks quietly in its joints, a sound that is drowned out by the binary rhythms and the tapping of command runes. Ping, injury, rescue, query. Rescue, this machine spirit, rescue us. This is Lord Captain of the vessel. Obey me and start the warp engines. O hallowed machine spirit, in the name of the Messiah and the Emperor, reveal unto us your power and guard us against our doom. This is pile of scrap. O hallowed machine spirit. Pascal echoes your sentiments and with the triumphant sounds of Bind Him. Pascal's next vocalization goes unsynthesized as he sees the vid screens begin to stabilize one after another. The strings frenetically, galloping across
Hello,
the
Gimpy.
background.
It is time to take a break. Go check on the dogs.
Stuff. Come on.
Your next break is in 1 hour.
Galloping across the green background are replaced with stable images of regularly updated status reports. Only one monitor remains inexplicably red. Tech Priest Vox cackles in shock, but his report is as clapped and clinical as ever. Registering warp sextant activate. Registering data stream stabilizing. Registering 0 data arrows found. Reporting the warp engine is ready for translation. After a pause, Pascal adds, I am also reporting evidence indicating a Category 3 miracle fulfilling the criterion. Thou shalt witness the mechanism that toils in glorification of its function and in defiance of deactivation. Lord Captain, Ravor here. The crew are almost finished carrying out the orders given earlier, and I've just received confirmation from the engineering halls. I don't know what you did, but the warp engine's up and raring to go. We're ready to begin translation to warp, your lordship. Lord Captain speaking, I give order to commence the translation. What just happened? Pascal pauses. I hypothesize that the ship's spirit heard our prayers and intervened. It summoned the power of the Messiah to do something beyond my comprehension. Perceives and knows the power of your faith, Pascal. We could have not have worked this miracle otherwise. Expect you to save my ship yourself, not pray for a miracle. Now, little of the Messiah's sacred machines, but what I saw on the screen looked strange. A non-standard output of information lost in the data core. Servitors used as data conduits are not always fully lobotomized. Fragments of their thoughts can appear even in pure code. He falls silent, immersed in thought. Perceives the power of your faith, I have not worked this miracle otherwise. I hope he will grant me a revelation that will allow me to comprehend the nature of this miracle. His box buzzes with wonder and an undercurrent of exultation. Let's get out of here. We're going to ascend the captain's throne, Lord Captain. May the Emperor protect us. Was that all really necessary is the real question. That was really excessive reading. Oh look, the planet. We killed it. Must shutter the windows before, going to the warp.
Valencia's flagship made its way out of the doomed star system. As the void ship plunged deeper into the corona's expanse, the rogue trader subjects bid a formal farewell to the late head of the dynasty, Theodora von Valancius. Having paid their last respects, the crew gathered their strength and braced themselves for whatever was to come next.
Hey, where'd that go? I completed chapter 1. Please no more reading. Rick. Lord Captain, allow me to report our journey through the warp is coming to an end. Lady Navigator Celio informs me that we have reached the point where we can translate to real space in the Furibundus system. The Lady Navigator and her pilots are awaiting your permission to begin the process. The system is home to Footfall, the only Imperium outpost with a functioning wharf in the Coronis expanse. The tech pilots or priests are begging you to have mercy on the machines worn down by the warp and to allow the servants of the Omnissiah to inspect and heal the void ship's wounds in the dock. Prayers and rituals will take some time, which our astropathic choir will use to establish a connection with the prime worlds of your protectorate, Dargonus, Janus, and Kiava Gamma. Master Zachary Wise has recovered an invitation previously adrift in the Immaterium. The Liege of Footfall has humbly requested an audience with the road trader of the Von V dynasty. According to Master Zachary, the message was tinted with shades of pleading. I quote, "Apparently the Liege is anxious to meet as soon as possible." Footfall. This place where filth and sanctity go hand in hand. Reverend Harmonious Doloroso will most likely expect a visit from me. I imagine he will be interested in talking to you as well, Gimpy. I'll be leaving your void ship when we arrive at Footfall. Once that is done, consider the Lord Inquisitor's task complete. Hey, you're not going anywhere. I hereby inform the rogue trader that during a comprehensive system inspection, right, says Pascal, this unit discovered data clusters within the captain's cogitator that are concealed from prying eyes by means of a personal cipher and a sacrament of algorithmic authorization. Until Gimpy Von V has been added to the access list and assigned the identifier Keeper 2, the unit can access the data from the captain's cogitator, provided that he possesses the decryption key. You detect a hint of something resembling curiosity in Pascal's. Okay, so much reading. Except during this game, I'm not sure if following this up with VR groups is ideal. There's a lot more verbose than either. Oh, it's way more. This is so much reading. This is stupid. Are you leaving us? Between the Lord Inquisitor and your predecessor was that I be transferred to the Footfall and no further. I dare not take advantage of your generosity and patience any more than I already have. I hope we meet again. You are a skilled fighter. I could use people like you. What do you say we extend your stay in the Myrantanu? Thank you for your offer, but I must decline. I'm afraid my duty to the Golden Throne comes before anything else. Genta, who's this? I'm supposed to be taking a break, aren't I? He's the head of the Derizian mission of Footfall and one of the most pragmatic clergymen in the sector. Blah, blah, blah. Stuff. I'm going to take a break. We're already over the break time. So I'm going to get up, stretch my legs, rest my voice a little bit, be back in a few minutes. There's no breaks from the sacred cant of Owlcat. No shit. Anyway, like I said, I'll be back in a few minutes. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the dog video.